Do you love your enemies? Do you love your enemies? We're going into Luke chapter 6, talking about loving your enemies. Let's go into the Beatitudes right here. Let's go straight into loving your enemies. But to you who are listening, I say, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you and pray for those who mistreat you. If someone slaps you on the cheek, turn to them the other cheek so you can slap your other cheek. All right, that's what he says. Give to everyone who asks you, and if anyone takes what belongs to you, do not demand it back. Do to others as you would have them do to you. Woohoo! Love your enemies. Love your enemies. I think this is one of the hardest levels of the Bible, of Jesus' teachings in the gospel, is when people steal from you, do not ask for it back. Actually give them, if they steal your coat, give them your shirt, right? If they slap you in the cheek, turn your other cheek. That is what Jesus taught. To love your enemies, to love all people, even the people that gossip about you, even the people that talk bad about you, even the people that judge you, even the people that steal from you, even the people that slap you and harm you physically, to love them. I think this is the highest level that Jesus taught, because not everyone, every religion, every good moral teacher, every philosopher, every Stoic taught about the golden rule. If they do to them as you would do to you, right? And even Jesus taught that. Yeah, the golden rule, do it. Do unto them as you would have them do to you. Absolutely. But Jesus went beyond that and said, hey, treat them better. If they mistreat you, if they gossip about you, if they harm you, if they slap you, if they steal from you, love them anyway and treat them with that love and kindness. And that is the reflection of Jesus. That is the reflection of the Holy Spirit inside of you. That is the reflection of God and God's love that he has for us and that we are supposed to have for others, even the people that harm us, even our enemies. We're supposed to have that type of love. I think that's transformational. All right, now in Luke chapter 6, we're going to go a little bit before that. I just wanted to address that right away. When Jesus said, the Son of God is the Lord of the Sabbath, right, in Luke chapter 6. And when the Pharisees were basically condemning Jesus for healing people and doing a whole bunch of great stuff on the Sabbath, he said, hey, the Son of God is the Lord of the Sabbath. And he said, what is it? Let me go straight here. I ask you, which is lawful on the Sabbath, to do good or to do evil, to save life or to destroy it, right? That's what Jesus said. So I think the example there is when religion, right, when our rituals, our beliefs, our whatever, end up getting, you follow those traditions, you follow those certain things to the fact when they're actually not useful, when they're not actually giving life, when they're not actually helping people, they're actually doing more harm or doing more evil. That's when the traditions and the religious stuff needs to stop, right? Because if it's the Sabbath, right, and you're not supposed to do any good, you're not supposed to save lives, you're not supposed to do good on the Sabbath, what good is it that of God to practice that? I don't believe so, and I think that's what Jesus is saying here, is I ask you, which is lawful on the Sabbath, to do good or to evil, to save life or destroy it? So within the Sabbath, in this pure example, but I believe in all religious traditions, right, there is times where doing good transcends the tradition, and it's okay to break the tradition because you're doing good, because you're saving lives, right? And there's times where if you follow that tradition, you might actually kill people or you might actually do evil, right? And so it's using that discernment, having the Holy Spirit guide you. You know, Jesus was there breaking the Pharisees' beliefs and breaking a lot of those traditions because, hey, this is about love. This is about saving people. This is about doing good, right? Beyond the religious traditions. So I wanted to address that. I think that's really important. So I'll ask you off the last two questions. One, right, the first one we'll go over. When is a time that you loved your enemies when they did you wrong, when they stole from you, right, when they hurt you? When is a time that you chose to love your enemies, and how did that work out for you? Put it down in the comments below. When is a time that you loved your enemies, and how did that work out for you? Number two is, when is a time that your enemies slapped you in the face, right? They slapped you in the face, they stole from you, they gossiped about you, whatever it is, and that you didn't love your enemies and you hated them and you treated them as they treated you. When is the time that you did that, and how did that work out for you? All right, drop that in the comments below. All right, number 3 is, when is a time that you were practicing religious traditions and you actually hurt people, you were doing evil, that you were killing people, right? It wasn't good, that you were practicing these religious traditions and they actually weren't doing the good, they weren't doing the works of God. When is a time, when is an example of that? Drop in the comments, right? And when is an example that you actually broke those religious traditions, that you actually stepped beyond it because you knew that was what God was calling you to do, right? And it was coming from love, and it actually helped people, it saved lives, and it served people, right? Drop that in the comments below. When is a time that you did that? All right, now let's finish off with this, right? Let's finish off with this, because this chapter, Luke chapter 6, right? Luke chapter 6, it's really important. In Matthew, it's called the Beatitudes, right? They cover a lot of great stuff in here. I think we'll go into judging others, right? I think this is an important one. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and run over, will be poured into your lap. For with the same measure you use, it will be measured to you. See, I see this all the time within religion. I see this all the time, even within the church and Christianity, right? It's very hard not to judge others, right? And we got to be very careful not to judge others, right? And to think that we know it all, right? And to think that we're better than others because they're doing something that we don't necessarily agree with from our perspective, right? Because it says, do not judge, and you will not be judged, right? Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned, right? So be very careful about judging others. Be very careful about condemning others, right? That's what I'm getting from this, right? Forgive, and you will be forgiven. How hard is it to forgive others, right? We're supposed to practice forgiveness to the tenfold as Christians, right? As followers of Jesus. That's why he died on the cross, right? So we could be forgiven, right? And so we have to forgive others, because if we forgive, we will be forgiven. If we don't forgive, we will not be forgiven, right? So talking about judging others, talking about condemning others, talking about forgiving others. This is what we practice as followers of Jesus. This is what we practice as followers of God, right? A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and run over, will be poured into your lap. For with the same measure you use, it will be measured to you. So be very careful when we're looking into the world, when we're looking within the church, when we're talking to others, everything, that we're not condemning, we're not judging, we're not forgiving people. Because that same measure that we give onto others within the church, within Christianity, within our relationships, right, within our friendships, within our family, within the world, right, that same measure that we give onto others, God will be giving onto us, right? That's what I get from that. Again, this is Luke chapter 6, verse 37 to 38, I believe. All right, so that's the video, guys. God bless your soul. I believe in you, and I'll see you next time. Peace be with you.